there is a brand new game mode out for the Demonic Beast, and that is a Trial of Courage, which is essentially a extension of the Demonic Beast. Instead of making a new one altogether, they sort of smashed up the bird, deer, and dogs into one mode. So we have the base level of the Demonic Beast, and then we have a greater level and an ultimate level, which all have their own respective exchange shops, which has, decent rewards, not too bad. But in order to do, the second and the third floor, you have to be able to clear the first floor, so they are consecutive. You can't skip and jump around. So we've already did the first floor. We're going to show you how to do that today. We have a pretty standard team. This seems to be the meta so far. We have Freyr, LR, Liz, Bryn, and Anashi. The gears are standard attack crit on the DPS and HP defense on the supports. The artifact set is going to be the deer set to prevent freezing in the dog game mode when we get to that. Dog tower. So the team obviously is going to have its strengths pretty much for every beast. So what's important to note about the bird is that there are keywords / key abilities in order to remove immortality. That's going to come from Freyr and Bryn. We are hitting all 3 of the basic attributes in order to take on the deer. And then we have, Ignite, Ignite immunity, and the card set, and some relatively strong healing and cleansing to deal with the deer. Not deer. Deal with the dogs. So that's going to be team comp, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, since this is a new style of game mode, you probably guessed, Bird does have a different set of abilities and mechanics. So right off the bat, you can see that our entire team is hit with an all-stat decrease. Now, we do technically have a cleanse, and we could cleanse it. We're not going to, though. He does have a weak point, which we will sort of synchronize our cleanse when he does just deploy the weak point. So we're going to start by attacking. We got some Freyr and Brynhild cards coming down. Obviously, the damage isn't the best, but that's fine. Just feeling him out, seeing what he's about. Now, I believe whoever doesn't use the skill, they are locked at the end of his turn in some way, shape, or form. So I think Nanashi's going to get locked, but not really too worried about that, since Nanashi attacks don't really do too much. So looks like he's doing a little bit of focus on Bryn because of typing, so that's to be expected. You can see the red card there with the spiky frame. That's the weak point, so we're going to go ahead and cleanse now. It sort of doubles up because we get rid of a bleed as well, and the lock skill on Anashi. So maximizing our cleanse value, and we're going to push for the Bryn ult. We definitely want to cycle some type of healing. We have 2 forms of healing. We have Bryn ults, and we have Liz ult. Liz ult's obviously going to be very easy to cycle, since she does fill everyone's gauges after she uses her ability. And it looks like now he's going to attack into Freyr. Buff cancel our Bryn. He's kind of going all over the place here. Doesn't seem like his targeting is too consistent, even though we do have a type advantage for him. So that's fine. Looks like Freyr gets locked, so we're not going to try not to use his ability there. We're going to go ahead and Bryn Hill, and he is pretty low, so I'm sure the using Nanashi attacks will finish him off. If the Bryn ult did not, he gets crit. So luckily, there's only 2 phases. Looks like we do have a passive that drops. So, what's this? Critical damage from hero's attack, defense down. Okay. So, try not to get crit, we can't really help that. So, you're going to see a plethora amount of immortality gray buffs. Now, to deal with those, they are based on a skill effect. Detonate, Charge, and Cleave remove 1 mortality buff. Power Strike removes 2. Power Strike ult removes 4. However, Pierce, Flood, and Spike will add 1. Amplify will add 2. Amplify ult will add 4. And if we don't deal any damage, he's going to give us his good old Corrosion, which deals 80% of maximum HP. So if we are like not full health, practically die. So you might have noticed that he took 1 damage from all of our stuff because he only has 1 HP, which is kind of funny. So once you can chunk away through the immortality buffs, he will be one shot, so he'll be easy to deal with. Right now, what we want to focus on is finding a way to get our detonates, our charges, and our cleaves, and our power strikes. That's what we like about this team comp. It's got a good amount of all of those put together. I don't think we have charge, but we do have Freyr cleave, and then detonate, and power strike is on Bryn's skill set, so we definitely don't want to ult with Nanashi because that is amplify. And we don't want to use the Liz attack because that is Flood, so we want to play around that. Now, he does attack seal us. He does, I think, inevitably ult seal us as well. So we are pretty much just going to keep playing around, try to maximize our card draw, and hope that we get the skill effects that we need. And he's patienting Nanashi. So we know he's not going to be helpful. He's not going to be doing too much damage regardless. Alright, so there we go. We got literally nothing. 2 Floods, a Cleave we can't use, an Amplify ult we can't use. Unfortunately, Death does nothing, and Bryn's ultimate not going to do too much either. Doesn't have a skill on it. We can, however, cleanse. We'll at least get the Freyr attacks down, and I guess we'll burn his ult just to get that out of the way. That is hogging up space. Solid 1 damage. It looks like he's going to be ulting soon, which we should be able to tank relatively easily. Nanashi does make the team pretty tanky with his buffs. Another good reason that he is here. Got another Cleave. Cool, cool. Gold Flood, Silver Flood. We're really holding on to those there. Looks like we're probably going to have to cleanse again. He is attack sealing us. Now he's making us bleed. We get some good value off this cleanse here. Luckily, the boss can be debuffed, so since he did double attack Freyr, he does have a lock skill on him, so his damage is going to be mitigated even further. We only have 3 more immortality buffs to work with. Now, unfortunately, the Bryn ult healing sort of scales off the damage dealt since he only has 1 HP, and immortality, only doing 1 damage. The healing is very, very sad. We have to rely on the Liz ult for healing. And we have a Cleave and a Detonate from Bryn, which is good. We can go ahead and ult here. Get both of these skills off, and burn this Nanashi attack. Now we're getting close to finishing, so what we're going to want to do is get the Liz ultimate back here. Well, thank God he patience that, because now that I'm thinking about it, well, we were full HP for the most part. Okay, so I guess ending there would have been fine. So I guess I'm going to have to stall here 1 more turn. Get the Liz ult, full heal, and then we'll be in a good spot to attack Deer. So cleanse this off, move a card, and we don't want to attack because he's 1 HP. But since we're using a card, we should be fine. And actually, fuck, we have a cleanse because we only have attacks, which means we wouldn't have been able to get rid of a card to get the Liz ultimate anyways. Nothing mergeable either. That would have been very, very unfortunate. So we'll Liz heal. It's only 2-6, but, you know, she's LR. The heal is nuts, and we'll finish with Bryn. Just because we'll finish with her. She's a girl to go to. But that is going to be Bird. Pretty straightforward. Definitely different than normal Bird, but we will tackle and explore. So just like the normal Deer, this Deer also has a strange obsession with the color wheels. So you're going to see that he has 3 buffs, and they are damage reductions for each basic value. So HP, strength, and speed. Obviously, Light and Dark is going to do absolutely nothing here, so we don't want those units at all. It's more RNG to run them in regular Deer, but in this Deer, if you run them, it's just straight up to the road. So, in order to deal with the damage reductions, you have to attack with the same elements. Now, when you do attack with the same element, you are going to remove the damage reduction for the elements that is disadvantageous to what you attacked with, right? So, for example, in the opening turn, we did 3 red attacks, Freyr and Liz, and that removed the green damage reduction, right? Because red beats green. And here you're going to see triple blue, and that is going to remove the red damage reduction. We are left with blue, which will be removed by triple green, aka Bryn. Now, you don't have to remove all 3 here on the first phase. You do, however, need to do it on the second phase. You don't have to worry about it here. Especially because the Nanashi doesn't really do any damage, right? So, removing his damage reduction, you could go without. I go ahead and do it just to do it. make sure I have all my bases covered. If I'm stuck with like a hand of Nanashi cards and Nanashi ult, right, I still want those to do like a decent amount of damage. So I think it's best to just remove all 3, you know, like, kind of like a safe practice, and then you have to do it, like I said, on the phase 2. Now, for whatever reason, he does like to focus Freyr a lot. Even though he has type advantage on Nanashi, you'd think that would take, you know, priority over any kind of HP values or anything like that, but it's exactly why we have Tarmiel on Freyr, because it takes a lot of damage, for whatever reason. So, just like Bird, he does sort of get victimized for the Tarmiel skill lock. So you're going to see that go down in a couple turns. I think he also removes debuffs at the start of his turn or at the end of his turn or something, so sometimes they get removed, sometimes they stick around, so definitely sticking around here. Now that we have all of the damage reductions removed, we can attack semi-freely. You have to make sure that you are still attacking with the same element each turn. So if you attack out of element, you get attack sealed. So for example, if I attack with Liz, then the rest of my attacks better be red, so on and so forth. So it helps a lot having, you know, an extra unit of a certain color, right? Like a color dupe. So even more reason to not want to run light and dark units, right? It's kind of difficult on normal gear, but if you're running light or dark here, it's kind of a throw, because you literally can't get out of the first turn, right? If you don't have 3 attacks of the same element, you kind of waste a turn attacking at least with 2 cards and then hoping you draw those back plus an extra. It's not going to work out, so make sure you have some kind of setup similar to this. And we're going to go ahead and do some green attacks. Let the Brenfield heal out. Doesn't really do much damage. Only, was it 380k? I don't have a lot of attacks, really, to go with the same color. Freyr ult probably hits for a ton. We do have another Freyr attack. We have triple red here, so we could do that next, or I could dump in Nanashi cards. Now, for whatever reason, we're only halfway through this man's health bar. Even though we removed the damage reduction, that's because he has a huge health pool. Not exaggerating, pretty sure it's above 7 million, unless that was only for phase 2. I think it's for phase 1 though, so yeah. We're gonna go ahead and full send our reds here and see what this damage looks like. And hopefully the Freyr ult is enough to finish him off, but not be too sure. Not be too sure. But look at this, 300k and it barely moves the bar. It's insane. Holy, okay. So for whatever reason, our Freyr ult crits. I guess our unknown boosts are still pretty insane. Freyr ult crit for 2 mil, so the death damage comes down. We do have another debuff. Increases his basic stats by 0.5 for every ult gauge. So we want to ult. Get those out of the way. So phase 2 is pretty similar to phase 1, but in addition to the damage reduction, he has an immortality buff. And differing from Bird, he actually has a normal health pool, and not just one. So we do follow the exact same process. We're going to attack with 3 of the same elements in order to remove the advantageous type. So we did triple Nanashi to remove the red damage reduction. Once we get through all 3, then we will remove his immortality buff, and then we can attack normally. Well, again, semi-normally. We need to make sure that we're attacking with the same element still so that we don't get attack sealed. Unless, you know, you play around it with Bryn Relic or our Liz heal, but you know, that's a little extra work on our end. We're not going to worry about that too much. So here we have triple green, so it's going to take out the blue buff. Or, yeah, blue buff. And we're chunking his HP a little better than we were before, so that tells me that the massive health pool was just for the first phase. We already have about 20% of his HP kind of chunked down. All that's left is the green buff, which means we need to do triple red, which we are lucky enough to sort of get triple for each color sort of consecutively here. So we're going to be able to remove the green buff, get his immortality out of the way. You can see he's really kicking Freyr's butt. Tarmiel Link's really holding out strong here. We do have a heal, which is pretty good. Yeah, so 1 million HP here. He does have that counter. This counter comes up every 3 turns, and then it's 1500% damage. I think it was an AoE, so just don't attack into the counter and you'll be fine. So we're gonna triple attack here, triple Freyr. That's gonna get us our Freyr ultimates. We're holding on to the Liz ult because we still have to deal with dogs, so we're gonna try to handle full HP that way. Oh, this is a lot of damage. Ooh, we don't kill here, right? Silver Flood doesn't kill. Wow, very close. Actually got super lucky there. Okay. So he is going to throw up the counter, but luckily ults do hit through. So getting the Freyr ult is good here. Not too worried about it. He always crits. These single targets on phase 2 always crit, so hopefully your Freyr's built. There's the counter. He's still skill locked. Go ahead and cleanse. We're going to ults. We're going to heal. And we're going to throw that out there for no reason at all, because it doesn't do anything. Even if for whatever reason the Freyr ult didn't kill, the counter is still up, so. That's going to be dogs. Sorry, deer. Now we're moving on to dogs. Alright, so last up in the rotation is going to be puppies, right? So just like the standard, we got white dog up, black dog down. Gonna sort of attack with different people this time, because I believe the way this freeze works is that if the same unit attacks twice in a turn, then you want frozen. But we're running the dog set, so if we do get max gauge, we don't have to worry about the freezing. In this sense, the freezing is a little less random, so we can control it more. He's got a plethora of buffs. Looks like an attack buff, a defense buff, and something interesting. We'll go for the Liz. See if we can. I think it's a buff strip, isn't it? LR Liz, right? We're about to find out. Ooh, we're immune. Interesting. Okay, so you can't remove his buffs. That's fine. Just like standard dogs again, black dog is going to throw up stances. So we have our stance canceled with Freyr. Make sure to stay that. Did he do that this turn, or is it the next turn? Oh, that's his turn. Okay. Nothing too different here. Let me make sure that was. I don't even think it debuff immunity. It doesn't even say that he's immune to buff cancel. Right? Yeah, I don't know what that was. That's crazy. Unless Liz doesn't actually buff cancel and I'm tripping, but that had to have been something, right? So we're gonna stance cancel. Make sure we retarget the white dog. We can do double Freyr, right? We're targeting different dogs. So we shouldn't get frozen here. He's got a resistance buff. Oh, he's getting tanky. No crits from Bryn, very sad. We are pushing Freyr ult. It's pretty good. I don't like these Anashi cards. I know usually the idea for phase 2 is to one-tap it, but I'm not doing that with his hand. So I could stall and try to save the Freyr ult, but he lifesteals. He's buffing again. Double buff. I might have to ult here. We're going to have to get rid of this attack down with our cleanse. That'll get our Liz ults. This will get 2 ults for phase 2. I'm not sure how hard the Nanashi ult's going to hit. 300k. Respectable. Alright, so that finishes phase 1. Phase 2, probably infect, defense related down. A little less of the random freezing. Yeah, he does a lot of buffs here. We're gonna see what this damage looks like. Nanashi ult double. No, we can't double burn. Actually, we could. We can double burn because now we're max gauge, right? Nanashi's getting frozen here. I did that out of order. I should have did the gold card first. It technically doesn't matter. At least getting frozen because he's gonna AoE, but now we lose the Nanashi buffs. So we kind of threw that. The damage isn't that bad though. Infect across the board. We did get our. We got a cleanse, so we can actually cleanse and Bryn heal or Liz heal. We definitely want to cleanse because now we're defense down. Cleanse, heal, and what else do we want to do? That should cover it, right? We'll throw out one Freyr attack. I think he dies to Freyr attack. If not, I'll die to Bryn attack, and I won't get frozen. Just barely dies to the Freyr attack. Okay. Phase 3. He does random debuffs here. I think it's every unit. Ultimate move disabled across the board. Stance cancel, rank 2 skills curb, attack lower. Yeah, everyone's got something different. Some of it's cleansable. looks like the cleanse lock, attack down, curb, and whatever that last one is, stance, are cleansable. My attack lower and ult gauge movement does not. So just like the phase 3 of dogs, normally, right? You want to kill them both at the same time, so that otherwise the other one gets an absurd stat boost. So you're gonna try to split our damage. I think the white dog has a 30% damage cap, and the black dog has 20% damage cap. He's taunting next turn, and then black dog is doing... what is that? I forget what that red card is, but he definitely has an extort. So if we can have a cleanse for when he does extort, that'd be nice. I wonder if this is gonna... oh! Okay, so every time you attack, it's a defense buff, but it looks like Liz buff removal works here, just not on the first phase, okay. That is co-destruction, I believe, based off ignites. And we have ignite security, ignite immunity, thanks to Freyr. We definitely want a Liz attack here. Strip the taunts. Ooh, what do we do now? Gotta make sure we try to keep using different skills across the board. Again, doesn't matter for Brynn right now because she's max stage, right? Let me make sure this is still active for phase 3. Should say immunity. Oh, it doesn't say immunity. I wonder if it's not on during phase 3. I mean, that's fine with me. That makes this a little easier. So here's the extort. I don't have a cleanse now. I wonder if the damage is gonna be crazy. Actually, not that bad. He doesn't crit. Like, still technically like first floor of dogs in a sense. Ooh, he's doing some stuff. We have our buff strip. Can't quite kill any of them yet. We do have the delete from the Nashi, so that is gonna drain if it deletes a card. Which we were lucky enough that it did. Ooh, and the Nashi will actually get him down to pretty low. They have a couple buff strips, they have their taunts up. Okay, so it doesn't look like I'll need to cleanse the extort with one turn only. I think we can buff removal. I think we all in the black dog, actually. We buff removal, all in the black dog, and then it should kill. And then the final card on the whitey, right? Get a nice back heal. Perfect. Brynn does finish off the black dog. Freyr finishes off the white dog. Alright, so that's going to be the first difficulty for the Trials of Courage. Yeah, thank you, drop a thumb. Maybe so to that, and I'll see you next one.